To today's life. So anybody who is joining the live, kindly you can type in the comments section and state whether you can hear me clearly. So as you can see from the title of our live today, it's saying that the advice that now we are going to discuss today, it's going to save you years of life. These are some of the rules that my father that's got a chance to teach me. So today I'm here so that at least we can learn together. Welcome everybody. Let's learn together the 35 rules, the father's advice that is going to change our lives. So do not be afraid to say something in the comments section, especially the part of sound. Okay, so far I can see there is one person who has joined the live. Welcome. Let's get to learn from each other. Let's continue learning from each other. No, knowledge is power. So in today's life, we are going to focus more on 35 rules that that's my father passed it down to me, and also maybe you have learned those rules from your dad too. But now we are here to teach the same rules to people out there, especially for a bold child. You need to apply these rules in your life, and at least the chances of succeeding in life, or the chances of dealing with the problems or the challenges that are in this life as a boy child, it's easier. So today's 35 rules, of course, they are going to bring some impact into your life. So if you have got a chance to write something down, please do so. So without wasting time, I would like to start with rule number 1. And this one is very interesting. So this is how it goes. Not everything will go as you expect in life. Drop expectations and go with the flow. It's very interesting. So in our lives, most of the time we think that once we put efforts that's into something that we are doing, then things are going to do what? To be perfect, or things are going to go the way we want them to go. But the reality is that at some point, the things might not go the way you want them to go. So the best approach that at least will help you is always drop expectations and go with the flow once you have done something. So if you have put in the work, just let the results or accept the results that are going to come at the end of your work. You see, so it doesn't matter whether the results are going to be negative or the results are going to be positive. Just go with the flow. So the moment you start being comfortable with this statement of not everything will go as you expect in life, and then you started dropping expectations, it means disappointments that come from everything that you do are not going to affect you, and life will be more peaceful. And that's how easy life or the peaceful life is created, lowering disappointments from anything that you do. So life does not follow a person's script. So you can plan everything perfectly, the job, the relationship, the timeline, and still have it do what? Fall apart. And that's not failure. That's just life being honest with you. That's very, very true, by the way. Me and you know that we have tried maybe relationships, and at some point, maybe they didn't go the way we expected, and that's okay. And it's even better because, especially this part of relationship, if it doesn't work, never try to do what? To force it to work. If things are so hard and things are getting more complicated, there is no peace, there is more fights in a relationship, just let it go. Flow with the system. It doesn't matter whether you had that dream of maybe creating a family. Of course, you can keep fighting and create a family, but not now with the person who the relationship has failed to do what? To proceed well. So the problem is not usually what happens to us. The problem is that we expect things to go a certain way, and when they usually don't, we suffer twice. So first, from the disappointment, and second, from the story we tell ourselves about why it went wrong. So think about it. You expected that person to say they left. To stay, I mean, not to say. You expected the person to stay, but they did what? They left. You expected that business to work, but they didn't. You expected loyalty, you got what? Betrayal. And instead of moving forward, you got stuck asking why. Why is this happening to me? Is it that the world is unfair to me alone? Is it that the world doesn't love me? So, going with the flow does not mean giving up. It means staying flexible. It means trusting that even when things do not go your way, something better might be waiting on the other side of that what? Of the closed door. So the most peaceful people I've ever met are not people who had perfect lives. They are people who stopped fighting reality. They adjusted, they adapted, they kept moving. So let's try as much as possible and drop the expectations, and at all times try to stay open. So life is not trying to destroy anybody. Instead, it's trying to do what? To redirect us. So take note of this point which I've discussed about. That's not everything will go as you expect in life, but rather drop expectations and go with the flow. So rule number 2, reduce bitterness from your life. So that stuff delays your blessings. This is another interesting rule number 2. Let's reduce bitterness from your life. That stuff usually, that's what it delays your blessings. That's very, very true, by the way. So you get that people get jealousy or get bitter when a neighbor, a friend, a brother, a sister has become successful in something. So now the bitterness or the jealousy that gets into these people, do you know what they end up doing? So they start planning on ways that they can do what they can harm their brother who is maybe doing well in something. And you see, this planning that's to harm your brother, it started as a result of you becoming bitter, becoming jealousy, you see. But now the funny thing is that despite you hunting or harming your brother whose life is maybe taking a good direction or doing good, you see, the funny part is that you're delaying blessings into your life once you do such a thing. Think of the other way around. If you celebrate your brother's win, then it means you will have a chance to ask your brother or a sister or a friend, okay, how did you do it, so that I can do it also, so that at least I can get a breakthrough. You see, so once you reduce bitterness or getting bitter or getting jealousy to your brother, doors open. You never know how they open, but it's normal. Life has a way of reciprocating. So if you do not have bitterness towards your brother or your friend who is doing well in life, there is higher probability that with the time, if things go well with your brother or your friend, then they'll incorporate you into their life that is doing well. You see, you will also do what? You will also benefit from them succeeding. But now when you get bitter, automatically it delays your blessings. You are not going to benefit from the good things or from their good life. So let's try as much as possible to reduce bitterness from our lives, because in most of the times bitterness delays blessings into our life. So bitterness is one of the most expensive things you can carry in your heart. It feels like power, like you're holding someone accountable by staying angry. But the truth is, bitterness is a prison you build for yourself, while the person who hurt you is outside living their life. So when you're bitter, you block yourself. You stop seeing opportunities because you are too focused on old wounds. You push away good people because you are still dealing with the bad ones. You wake up exhausted from carrying weight that was never yours to do what? To keep. I want you to think about someone in your life right now who is bitter. Not someone you dislike, just someone who has been hurt and never let go. So, do they seem free to you? Do they seem free? Do they seem tired, suspicious, and stuck? So, that's what bitterness does. It makes you tired and stuck. So, letting go of bitterness is not for the other person, it's for you. It's so you can breathe again, so you can laugh again, so you can move forward without dragging that dead weight. So your blessings cannot land in a closet feast. Open your hands, let the anger go. So life becomes a symbol. Once you reduce bitterness to your fellow human beings, once you reduce anger or jealousy towards your fellow human beings, then it means you have released some weight from your life, and then more doors are going to open up, and life is going to be more peaceful. So that's rule number 2. So rule number 3, dating a supportive woman is everything. So the Bible itself usually advises us that when it comes to choosing a woman who is going to be in your life, that's as a man, you need to be extra careful, because this is somebody who is going to be in your life forever till you die. This is the person who is going to know you inside out. This is the person who is going to do what? To keep your secrets like forever. So that's why this rule number 3 that says dating a supportive woman is everything. It's very, very essential. That's to a man. So itself usually says that so whoever finds a good woman, you see, finds a good wife. So this wife is going to act like a pillar that is going to hold on to you while you do what? You fight battles in this life of yours. So that part of dating a supportive woman is everything. Even in the part of peace of mind, I know as men, we usually like protecting our peace of mind most of the time. And that one usually comes from, it depends on the kind of a person you are doing, what you are dating, or you have allowed to come into your life. So a supportive woman is a very a key aspect when it comes to peace of a man, and it's something that must be applied at all times when it comes to trying to seek peace or maintaining peace in your life as a man. So that's rule number 3. Dating a supportive woman is everything. So rule number 4, if you really want to be successful, then never lie to yourself. Let me repeat it again. If you really want to be successful, never lie to yourself. It's a simple statement, but it carries a heavy weight. So, to people out there, that's to the crowd, it's very easy to do what? To lie to them. Yeah, you can promise them, you can talk about yourself, you can praise yourself. But now, remember, you as an individual, you cannot lie to yourself. So despite you talking a lot about yourself out there, that's praising yourself, or letting people know about you in a given way, still at the end of the day, you will go back to your house, and then now that's where the reality kicks in. So life becomes more simpler and more enjoyable once you stop lying to yourself. It's high time that you start being honest to yourself and then depict the same thing to the crowd out there, to the people you do what? You interact out there. So once you start doing that, then it means success is going to just bring it to you. Because let's say, for example, if you do not lie to yourself that you are working out, and then the reality is that you are working out, and then you tell people that I'm really working out, and also the physical appearance shows that you are working out, you have a good physique. You see, so success here comes back in a manner that your body, people are going to see it as a fit body. So they will know this person is honest and doesn't lie to himself or herself. So the tendency of some people, that's to lie when they are among crowd, and then when they come back to themselves, they realize that it's not about people's life, it's about my life. So that one destroys you, and it makes you move slow in life. So lying to the world is common, but lying to yourself, that's on a different level. That's go to die. You lie to yourself when you say, I'll start Monday, and Monday never comes. You lie to yourself when you say the relationship is fine, when you know the relationship is broken. You lie to yourself when you tell people you're building something, but you have not opened your laptop in 3 weeks. So, self-deception is the most dangerous kind of deception because there is no one to catch you. Only you know the truth, and the longer you protect yourself from it, the farther you drift from the life you actually want. So successful people are ruthlessly honest with themselves. They know where they are falling short. They know their bad habits. They know what's working and what's not. And instead of making excuses, they usually do what? Make adjustments. So the moment you stop lying to yourself is the moment your life starts to do what? To change. Not because everything suddenly becomes easy, but because now you are dealing with the reality. And the reality is something you can actually do what? Work with. So if you really want to be successful, then never lie to yourself. Rule number 5. So if your parents count on you, don't play the same game with the people who still count on their parents. I think that one is loud and clear. If your parents count on you, don't play the same game with people who still count on their parents. I understand that we usually come from different backgrounds. So some people are privileged to come from wealthy families, whereby when it comes to finances, they do not struggle or they do not have problems. But now, for some of us, we come from families that there is some struggle, there has been struggle all through. So it's up to us to try and do what and change the situation back at home. So this point, it tries to separate us. If we understand that we come from a family that us ourselves are supposed to change, then we should not play the same game with people who are still counting on their parents, because for those people, if things go southwards, it's automatic they will have pillars that know their parents will do what they will uplift them. They will try to push them, and then they bring them on top. But now for us who do not have capable parents or do not have strong backgrounds, so you see we have to stand by ourselves. We have to try and push things by ourselves. So let's try as much as possible and not play games with those people who can count on their parents. So responsibility is not for everyone at the same stage, and that's okay. But you need to understand who you are dealing with. If you carry your family, if your parents look to you for support, if younger siblings depend on you, if you're the one holding things together, that's at home, you cannot afford to play at the same level as someone who goes home to a fully stocked fridge they did not buy and a roof they did not do what? Pay for. So your standards must be different. Your hustle must be different. Your choices must be different. So this is not about judging people who are still supported by their families. Everyone's journey is different, but do not let someone with zero responsibilities tell you how to spend your money, how to take much risk, or how fast to move, because the mistakes cost nothing and yours cost everything. So know your lane, know your weight, and respect the difference between a person who is playing with house money and a person who built the house themselves. So I think that point, it's very, very clear. So let's go to rule number 6. So chase goals and not people. Chase goals and not people. People can disappoint you, but goals cannot disappoint you. So in simple words, try as much as possible and do what? And chase goals. So rule number 7, as a young man in your 20s, those are your selfish years. So it's time to build yourself, choose yourself first at all cost. And that's the reality, by the way. As young men, at our 20s, this is where we try to build ourselves. This is where we recognize what we are good at. This is where we build foundation on what we are going to do in the coming future. So do not waste your 20s partying. That's destroying your life, because you are destroying your foundation. Then now rule number 8, detachment is power. Release anything that does not bring you what? That does not bring you peace. So at some point in life, as human beings, we find it hard to detach from the things that do not give us peace. But the reality is that the more we remain attached to such a things, the more our lives becomes more complicated. So we should try and master the art of detaching from the things that interfere with our peace, and then at least concentrate on the things that do what? That bring peace onto our life. So then rule number 9, only speak when your words are more beautiful than your silence. Wow, this is a very, very interesting, man. Only speak when your words are more beautiful than your silence. So at least you're going to learn something from this statement. So if your silence is, if your words are not more beautiful than your silence, then it's better you do what? you keep quiet, because what you utter from your mouth, what you speak from your mouth, really shows the kind of person you are, the kind of human being you are. So that's why this statement makes a lot of sense, that only speak when your words are more beautiful than your silence. So before you talk, people are not going to know you, but once you utter your words out, people are going to say, oh, okay, so this is the kind of a person, at least they get to know you. So try as much as possible, and always be very, very on the words that come out of your mouth. And if you process those words and they realize they are going to affect your reputation, then remain silent. Rule number 10, invest in your looks. Do it for yourself. When you look good, you feel good. This is very, very perfect. Okay. Everybody wants good things. Everybody wants to see things that appear good. But when it comes to you yourself, do not do it for other people. Just do it for yourself. For example, if you dress well, you're doing it for yourself. Of course, people are going to acknowledge, or people are going to please or praise you and tell you that, okay, you look good. But at the end of the day, you're the one who is doing it for yourself, at least to get more confidence, and then also at least you get to perform things at peace without doubting yourself. So, and above all, you feel good when you do what? When you have invested in your looks. So then rule number 11. So some people want to see everything go wrong for you because nothing is going right for them. Let me repeat this point. So some people want to see everything go wrong for you because nothing is going right for them. Okay, that's funny. But you know, as human beings, we are naturally jealous. So some people will just want to see things also go wrong for you because their things or their stuff is also not going right for them. So they just want you, they want to drag you so that you can be in the same common pool as them, you see. So you have to be very, very careful and hold on to your pole so that these people do not pull you down and then you find yourself in their group. Rule number 12. So being a good person does not get you loved. It gets you used. So people usually confuse this part of being a good person and then this other part of being a good person with boundaries. Being a good person is a good thing, but now being a good person without boundaries, that's where there is a problem. So be good, but when it comes to saying no, you mean it. And people know that your no is a no. But do not be a good person without boundaries. So if you're a good person without boundaries, the end result is that you are going to do what? To get used by people. And that one is the consequences that's back to you. So be a good person, but with boundaries. Know when to say no, know when to say yes. Exactly. So then rule number 13, do not be afraid of losing people. Be afraid of losing yourself. That's trying to please everyone. Let me repeat the statement. That's the rule. Do not be afraid of losing people. It doesn't matter whether it's your family member, your brother, your friend. But be afraid of losing yourself trying to please everyone. Remember, you come first above everything. The life is yours. So choose yourself first before you choose other people, and then things will flow. Ask yourself, if it was the other person, are they going to choose me first before them? You see, the reality, the honest answer is that people will always choose themselves before you. So why don't you apply the same principle, that's of choosing yourself before other people? Choosing yourself before other people, it doesn't mean that you're trying to be mean. Nope. Once you take care of yourself, once you um, choose yourself first and things are going good at your side, it's easier to do what? To help that other people. Rule number 14, keep your moves private. Do not announce until it is sealed. Premature announcements invite bad energy. So if you really want to be successful in anything that you are doing, then the moves should be private. Sometimes in life, if you announce your moves earlier, then maybe it can attract that bad energy, and as a result, that's the bad energy is going to interfere with the progress of the projects or the things that you had started doing. So the smartest way, that's now to do your projects or do your things, it's better you do them in a private until when the deals, that's now they are sealed. When the results are already out, that's when now you can announce the results. So at this point, even if bad energy is going to come out, it's hard to break something that has already been built. Exactly. So keep your moves private. Do not announce until it's sealed. So premature announcements usually invite bad energy. Rule number 15. So for your mental health, do not laugh too hard and marry when you are ready and not when you are lonely. So the society usually lies to us that maybe you should love somebody so hard, then you should marry when you are lonely. But now the reality is that despite you loving, you're not supposed to love too hard. Remember, you come first. So in case anything happens, because this is somebody else you are loving too hard, you need to leave room for some disappointments if they might come. At least when they come, you can do what you can. You have a chance, or you have got that strength to do what? To fight those disappointments, and then you remain strong. You see, and now this other part of marrying when you are ready and not marrying when you are lonely, the statement is very, very sensitive. Some people feel lonely and then they say, I need somebody in my life. That's not how it's supposed to be. But marry when you are ready, when you feel like, oh, okay, I need somebody to be in my life. I need a supporter in my life. You see, and things will run smoothly. So rule number 16, your thoughts are very powerful, positive. You know, before everything is initiated, before anything is built, it starts from our minds. The thoughts that you process, the thoughts that come into your mind, you see, those are the things that determine the outcome or the activities that you are going to involve yourself in, how the results of those activities are going to appear. If you think positive all the time, then it's automatic. The results or the rewards that are going to come out of the things that you involve yourself in, then it's automatic. The results are going to be positive and they are going to be appealing. So it's encouraged that we try as much as possible and think positive all the time, and try as much as possible and maintain positive thoughts at all times, because it's for the benefit of us and for the benefit of the results of the projects that we are going to engage ourselves in. So rule number 17, social media will make you envy someone you should actually pity. So in our digital world right now, you can become jealousy of somebody who is in social media. But now the funny thing is that there is the reality and then there is social media. So some people usually post, okay, majority of people, 99% of people usually post what's positive in their life. They never post what's negative in their life, you see. So when you get jealousy or when you feel you have envy towards somebody who is in social media, because maybe you see the lifestyle of this person is so good, you see, then you are messing up, because the person has just been an hypocrite. The person is just pretending, just to interfere with your thinking, to make you jealousy for nothing. So stop being jealousy, just flow with the flow, and life moves. Life is going to move on well with no burdens. Then now, rule number 18. Nobody owes you anything on your birthday. Learn to save money and spoil yourself. Okay, that is very, very funny. No, it's automatic. We usually expect people to give us presents. That's now during our birthdays. But nobody owes you anything for your birthday. So we are being encouraged here that if you have got a chance, then save some money so that you can do what? You can spoil yourself during your birthday. By doing that, it means that you are going to do what? To reduce disappointments into your life. And then at least at the end of the day, you will realize that you have done something good for yourself and you will feel happy about it. But now, look at it from this other angle. If you expected people to gift you, or if you expected people to come into your life and maybe support you or show some love during your birthday, then they never show up. So you see, you will feel sad at the end of the day because you didn't prepare yourself well. So try as much as possible, save some coins, and then spoil yourself during your birthday. Just lower expectations from your families, your friends, or all those other people. Now, rule number 19. That move you are scared to make might just be the one that changes everything. Do it. Move. This one makes a lot of sense, by the way. Somebody was trying to say that the difference between the wealthy people and the poor people is that the poor people have more fear to take risk. They are afraid. They already concluded that what if it doesn't work out? But for the rich, they take risks. They try things out each and every time. If this fails, they wake up and then they push through. You see, and now that's what brings them results, because they know what works and what does not work. So to be on the safer side, start taking moves. That move that you are afraid that is going maybe to fail, or that is not going to be successful, that one might be a life-changing move for you. Okay. Rule number 20, do not mess up your progress trying to do what? To rush the process. Okay, of course, people usually focus more looking at the results and do not focus more looking at the progress. But you as an individual who is fighting, you should appreciate your progress, because this is a journey. You know how you are fighting, you know the effort that you are putting in. So appreciating your progress and then doing the right thing at the right time and not rushing the process. This one at least keep things in order and things flow in a smooth way. So for some people, they try to look for shortcuts. Okay, for some people it works, but no, for many of the people, it usually never works. So do not mess up your progress trying to do what? To rush the process. So rule number 21, no matter how thirsty you are, there are some people you should never ask for water. Let me repeat this rule. No matter how thirsty you are, there are some people you should never do what? Ask for water. So not everyone in your life has the capacity or the intention to do what? To help you, even when you are desperate. There are people who will use your vulnerability against you, people who will hold your need over your head, people who will help you just enough to create an obligation, people who will watch you struggle and do nothing, and then act like your success came from nowhere. So knowing who those people are is one of the most important forms of wisdom you can develop. It is not a bitterness, it's discernment. So when you're going through hard times, your instinct is to reach out to whoever is nearest. But nearness is not the same as safety. Some people's help comes with poison that's in it. So learn to identify who genuinely has your best interest at heart, who celebrates your wins without conditions, who shows up without keeping score. Those are the people you can be vulnerable with. Everyone else, handle your business quietly and protect your dignity. Some people will respect you more for figuring it out yourself than they ever would for watching you struggle and asking for help. So rule number 22, add value to your life. Learn a skill, develop your skill. That's self-explanatory. Rule number 23, never love someone to the point where you no longer mind them hurting you. That's a tricky one. Despite you loving someone, just remain with that expectation that they can still hurt you. And when the hurting comes, at least you are capable of freeing yourself from the hurting that has come from the other person. Rule number 24, you are your own best friend. Never put yourself down. Always put yourself first at all times. Rule number 25, sometimes people come back into your life just to check if you are still stupid. So when they come back, just observe them and then fight for yourself, and do not try to prove for them that now you have become wiser, but just stay silent and make silent moves. Rule number 26, the sooner you figure out which chairs do not belong at your table, the more peaceful your meals become. You see, so the sooner you figure out which chairs do not belong at your table, the more peaceful your meals become. Okay, try and let's figure out that proverb. Rule number 27, if you want to run fast, you have to learn to do what? To walk. The dreams are big, but start somewhere. You must always start somewhere. The dreams are big, but baby steps, a walk, then a run. Then rule number 28, before spending money on someone else, make sure that your family and your loved ones are good. Everything starts from you. So if you're comfortable and your family is comfortable, then money on somebody else. The same way that person would have done. Okay. So it's just as simple as that. Rule number 29, what comes easy will not last. What lasts will not come easy. This is evident through the kind of life that we are living. So anything that comes easy usually never lasts that much, but anything that comes with some challenges, then it's going to do what? To last. Rule number 30, normalize keeping your personal life private from people who ask too many questions. In fact, if you're in a position where you can lie, even lie to them, then do it, because these people are interfering with your own personal life. Then now rule number 31, stop forgiving cheating partners. Your health and self-respect are on the line. Exactly. So if your partner doesn't want to preserve his or her body for you, then there should be no room for such a people in your life. They are going to bring trouble, they are going to interfere with your peace, and then things are going to move sideways. So stop forgiving. You are doing it for yourself and not for anybody else. So some exes need to understand, no matter what they achieve, we will never regret living. You see, so it doesn't matter what your ex is going to achieve. It doesn't matter what your ex is going to get after now we have broken up. What matters is that we left each other and there is no going back to each other.